Okay, we are live. It looks decent. Doesn't look too distorted.
There we go.
That was really weird. Yeah, we just tried this. It was all distorted. Does it look pretty straight on from
Let
your
me
point of, or does
see.
it look squatty this
No,
way?
it looks good. Here.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't know
All
what
right.
happened.
Well, this is the piece I'm going to work on for the next hour or so. Hopefully I can get it done before then. Hey guys, welcome to Hack Shack Studios. Sorry about all that technical stuff. It's a little bit of a learning curve for us. So there is a little distortion because of the angle of the table. So we're going to look into that a little bit more too. So hi, like I said, welcome to Hack Shack Studios. I'm RT Bear, 35 years in the comics industry, and I'm going to draw some stuff for you, some black and white stuff. Black and White is my newest book, and I am working alongside Taylor Grasso, who is also working on Black and White with me.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'll be reading your chat today if you want to chime in, hang out with us, ask some questions.
The chit chat, as it were.
The very same.
Yes. So I'm going to attempt to ink this. My magic nib, I could not find it. The last thread I had the magic nib. I finally found it. I have like 4 to 6 nibs in my drawer here, and it's hard. Sometimes I'll put tape on the ends of it so I can remember what nib it is. Okay.
That was the fabled nib that everybody's looking for that makes you ink amazingly.
Yes, it is the fabled golden nib.
But it's gone now.
Forever.
Hello, Kelly Amos, who just joined us in the chat.
Kelly Amos!
There's a lot of people live streaming now. Thanks for coming to hang out with us, you guys.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of competition for your attention, and we appreciate you guys showing up and hanging out with us.
So, Art, what are you working on right now?
This is a patch for the famed Black and White. So this is Whitney's song, and if I can get my magic nib, which it is not my magic nib, as you guys can tell. This is Whitney's song, Being Surprised by, well, I can't say too much, by the Big Bad.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. So she's a little bit surprised by what's happening behind her. So it's a patch. I had a previous, I don't have it here. I was going to show it to you. But I had a previous page with her in there, and I didn't really like the face, and the reaction wasn't what I really wanted. So one of the remastering processes is to kind of tweak things, make it work, give it a more 21st century aesthetic. The original book was done in 1995, 94 actually. It was 1994.
Yes.
And so the remastering is redrawing, re-inking, rewriting, recoloring the entire book. And there's a lot of extra pages and a lot of new stuff that Taylor and I have added for your dining and dancing pleasure.
Yes, thanks to you guys, we got to add some extra pages. So Art's been hard at work at things like this, creating that content for you guys. And Black and White is in demand on Indiegogo right now. So if you missed your chance to pick up the book, you still have a little bit. You can still get a copy, and you can still get one of the upper tiers if you so choose, as long as they're not sold out. A couple of them have sold out, so don't wait too long if you're thinking about it.
Yeah, we've had to pull a couple down. Well, actually, we just pulled them down because they sold out. And yeah, so one of the things that we're real happy with is the response. I really didn't know what this book was going to do, bringing it back after 25 years, and the response has been overwhelming. So you guys are going to probably getting sick of me thanking you, but I thank everybody that supported the Indiegogo campaign up to this point, and to encourage anybody who hasn't seen the book even to go check out Black and White. The link will be in the description, so please check it out. We just added a couple new stretch goals. Well, a new stretch goal actually,
Yes.
which is the button tier. And then what I was thinking was the other one was we just posted what the mini print is going to look like for the ultimate tier, right? That was the Whitney.
Yeah, that's right. So there's the ultimate tier is still available, and there is a mini print that is exclusive to that tier that only the people in the ultimate tier are going to be getting. And if you want to see what it looks like, go ahead and check it out. It's a alternate design of Whitney, aka White, and there's still some ultimate tiers left. And you get not just that, but you get all the physical items besides the 90s items. So check that out if you're curious to see some alternate costume design. Art has been working on Black and White for years, and there's lots of I guess never before seen. I think that one is pretty
much never before seen. Yeah.
So there's a lot of content there. If you guys are curious, there's a lot of alternate costume stuff. Black and White have been through a lot over the years.
Yeah, so it was an image book I put out 25 years ago in the day in 1994, and it was a huge hit. And so I've been working on and off for the last, I guess, 25 years,
Wow.
trying to bring these guys back to the forefront and see if a new audience would be interested in reading their stories. And so far, so good.
Hey, that looks pretty good, says Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly.
Let's see what here. We just wrapped up the latest Kiss Corner, and it was a pretty good one, I think.
Yes, it was.
We're trying to do I think we're trying to do them like once a week, right?
Yeah, I would like to do them at the very least once a week. The reason we can't do more is just getting everybody together is tough, because there's us, and then there's Kevin and Scott, and they all have lives and day jobs.
Yeah, coordinating everyone is can be difficult. 'Cause most of us are in California, but
Kevin's
not all.
Kevin's East Coast.
Let's see. I got a lot of stuff in this.
Revenge.
Yes, Kevin of Revenge.
Revenge is a Kiss cover band that Kevin Conrad plays in. And if you guys haven't or don't know what we're talking about, go check out the last post, which is Kiss Corner.
Yeah, check it out. We have a lot of, we've kind of built up a good library of videos. So if you guys want to go back and watch those, I think all of them are worth watching, but some of them are especially very good. Kelly says, I remember when you did a couple issues of Warlord back in the day.
Oh my gosh. That was my first work. Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that was a blast. I think I owed Dan Jurgens on that book, and then who followed me on that book were the Kubert brothers.
Oh, really?
Adam and Andy, yeah.
Interesting.
A lot of people got their start on that book.
Let's see.
It was the Star Maker.
Warlord, now that brings back memories, says James.
I don't know if they could successfully bring that character back in this day and age.
I don't know much about him.
He doesn't wear much clothes, and neither do a lot of the other characters.
Oh, is he the guy that he kind of dresses like Zardoz?
Yeah, yeah.
I know who you're talking about now.
He's got like white hair. He looks like he's like a white-haired Green Arrow. But I think he's got a goatee as well.
A white green arrow. I kind of remember him. Gosh, it was a strange time as far as character designs back then, but you can't deny that they were pretty recognizable. Yeah, Warlord was my favorite. I loved Grell's work, says Kelly.
Yeah, I did too. It was definitely a book that I read as a kid. So when I got offered the book, it was pretty amazing. And I just thinking about this, I just made a connection. I was really a sword and sorcery guy at the time. I wasn't really into superheroes as much because at that point there was like John Buscema's Conan, and I really liked that book. So now that I think about it, I was already kind of geared up to do a sword and sorcery type of story, in a world like that with swords and, you know, creatures and sword fights, that type of thing.
Oh, it's a fantasy like style?
Yeah, yeah, it's a sword and sorcery fantasy.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I ever read it. There's not a lot of fantasy books out now, I feel like.
I think they're bringing Conan back. I'm not sure if it's Marvel or who.
He's kind of had like, I don't know, Conan's kind of passed into, it's like Red Sonja where they're kind of iconic now. So they've kind of passed beyond. I don't know. I feel like they'll always be around in some capacity, but I feel like there used to be like a lot of sword and sorcery type books.
Oh yeah, there were, because it was pretty popular even cinematically. So in the late '70s, early '80s.
My favorite one is actually one that you introduced me to, Art, which was it's that European comic Roxana.
Yeah, I like that.
That was a really good one. I bought the whole set on eBay,
Uber.
and I recommend them. I forget who the writer artist is, but Roxana, check it out if you like sword and sorcery comics.
Yeah, I think I burned really hot on those, and then once I got out of it, I never looked back. Like, I don't really have too much of a taste for it now.
I think I don't know. We go through phases as far as because comics it's a medium, not a genre, so there's so much stuff that you can kind of explore.
Yeah, I think like I'm really back to more sci-fi adventure.
James says, I was a fan of artists like Frank Frazetta and Boris Vallejo, so Warlord was a natural pick up book for me.
Exactly. Those are the things I was looking at, and there was an actual, I think a lot of what were considered the artists were doing like the sword and sorcery and fantasy stuff.
It's funny, that was kind of the big artist genre. Kelly says Warlord was basically Edgar Rice Burroughs' Pellucidar and Spartacus mixed together.
Yeah. It was weird. Like, I always thought like Mike Grill was taking that whole Middle Earth like seriously, like, because I think he said Spartacus, right? What did
Yeah,
he say?
Spartacus.
Yeah, because I think even the land is called Spartan or something.
Oh, really?
I think so. I'm trying to remember now, but I when you get older, you're like Middle Earth, because like even like Lord of the Rings, it's not literally Middle Earth. they just call it Middle Earth, right? That's just the Earth. It's not like it's a world within the world, is it?
I think so. I don't think it's just a term.
So they don't like the Tolkien stuff. They don't literally mean Middle Earth, right?
I hope not, because I don't like that idea.
Because well,
I'm looking it up right now.
that's the warlord idea, because I think that is literally Middle Earth.
As in, like, in the middle of the earth?
Right.
Ew, that hollow earth theory. Let's see. Middle Earth is a fictional setting of much of... Well, yeah, I know that. The term is equivalent to the term Midgard of Norse mythology. Okay, so it's like the human inhabited world is the central continent of Earth. So yeah, I guess in Tolkien's work, Middle Earth is like Midgard, where it's between the spirit worlds or whatever. Interesting.
So, is it like a dimensional thing, or is it existing on our plane like at the same time?
Let me see. Middle Earth is a North.
Because there's human beings in Lord of the Rings.
It says the North Continent of Earth Arda is an imaginary period of the Earth's past. Tolkien placed the end of the Third Age as about 60,000 years before his own time. The second sub-creational. So it's like a made-up time. I guess it's like Star Wars.
It's a made-up time, but it's definitely on
our Earth. I guess, which is really kind of weird.
Well, I remember I saw something, and it said it was one of the cartoons or something that said that the hobbits were like precursors to humans or something.
Oh, really?
And that they would eventually, because like each one of the generations, like Bilbo and Frodo and all those, they were taller. Each one was taller than the other one, and so they were kind of evolving into just humans. So eventually, they just became like human beings. They just, evolved, I guess.
Durakin claims Middle Earth is considered the Middle Realm. Middle Earth is a different Earth, but it is on a planet. I don't know.
But I think that... Oh, go ahead.
I was saying, I never heard that that theory before, Art.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about the Tolkien stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know where I heard it. I thought it was one of the cartoons or something. But, yeah, I think that the Warlord's existence, I think he is actually in Middle Earth. Like he's in the Earth, I think.
Let's see, Warlord comics. Sword and Sorcery character appearing in American comic books, yes, by Mike Grell. First issue debuted in 1975.
Good year for me. Good year for Kiss.
The titular character Travis Morgan obtains the name Warlord as he fights for the freedom of the people of Scartaris.
Oh, it's Scartaris, okay.
So that sounds like Spartacus. Scartaris.
Guitarist.
And let's see who he was. This actually looks kind of interesting. He was a Vietnam War veteran.
Yeah, he's a pilot or something, right?
Yeah, SR-71 pilot Travis Morgan passed through a hole in the Earth's crust.
See?
While flying over the North Pole in 1969 and landed in the underground world of Scartaris, a place strongly reminiscent of Edgar Rice Burroughs' Pellucidar. There, Travis, wielding his .44 automag pistol and joined by Shambhala's princess, later Queen Tara. This is a lot like...
Yeah, it's John Carter.
Yeah. A scantily dressed savage became...
She is very scantily
became the
savage? Really?
It's a savage, yeah. Became the warlord and fought villains such as the evil sorcerer Deimos, as well as various kings. He gained various sidekicks such as Machiste, I don't know if it's Machiste or whatever, and Shakira, okay, a Russian scientist named Mariah, that doesn't sound very Russian, and his magic-wielding daughter Jennifer Morgan. They have such normal names. In one story arc, Morgan even becomes the U.S. president in the far future. Although Warlord has a superficial resemblance to Oliver Queen, like you said, He is in reality based upon his creator Mike Grell, who was a former member of the Air Force. Grell, in character in the Warlord's first appearance, is clearly sporting the Warlord's signature goatee. Grell and editor Jack C. Harris made a metafictional appearance in the story Gambit in Warlord number 35.
Ooh.
Interesting. Apparently, he fights dinosaurs and stuff, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, there's dinosaurs in the world. Kingdoms, just everything that you would think that would be in, like a fantasy.
This looks pretty cool.
It was a lot of fun to do. I did an episode or issues where Power Girl of all characters somehow, was it Power Girl and oh my gosh, I think it was like Power. Was there two of them? Oh no, it was Power Girl. Yeah, it was Power Girl, and one of the characters, she was like an enchantress type character. She was a magic character, and they could float. And I just remember, I had to draw like a medieval version of Power Girl.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's this giant statue. I remember this double page because every issue, like it was a tradition that every issue, the second and third page would be a double splash, like a double page splash. And so they, I think Power Girl is picking up the statue, like she's on a island and she's picking it up over her head, and she's like this big and the statue's like this big in the shot. I just remember like I really was proud of myself when I came up with that. I believe I just sold all that to a collector.
Really?
Yeah, I'd never sold any of those pages before, ever. And I just sold each and every one of them, like lock, stock, and barrel. Every one of them.
Well, there's plenty of other pages available on artbytbear.com. We're actually having a Black Friday sale.
Yes, we is.
So if you guys are curious about that, if you're art collectors, check out artbytbear.com. There's quite a large library of work art has up there available. Let's see. In Tolkien mythology, the planet is at one time flat. There is a land of the east and west which have certain affiliation. This is where the term Middle Earth comes from because it's the middle.
That's what I always thought. Yeah, it was in the middle.
Okay.
It's literally in the middle of, yeah.
The west is essentially heaven and the east is the realm of chaos. Okay, so it's the middle realm in there, but it's flat, okay. At the end of this is all, I never knew this. At the end of some period during Tolkien's mythology, the world does, however, become spherical. That's weird. The hobbits are not unevolved humans. Okay, it's just a theory. Let's see.
Yeah, I didn't say it for the record. Like, it's just something I heard. I don't want to offend anybody.
The double page splash was an awesome idea.
Oh, cool.
At where.com? Why, artbytbear.com.
That's right.
I'm looking at the Warlord stuff.
Is my head in the shot? No, I'm far enough away.
Let me see. I don't see your head.
Okay.
Man, I have to send myself something from downstairs, though, to be sure. But I don't want to leave you up here to fend for yourself, so I'll just wait.
What is it?
I gotta send that Chang patch.
Oh, okay.
Spoiler alert.
Do you need it right now? I can hold down the fort if you need it.
Okay, I'll go grab it real quick.
Yes.
Let's see.
So, as soon as she leaves, I'll just be very quiet and weird. So now we can do all the things we couldn't do while Taylor was here. It's like when your parents leave. So yeah, The Warlord was a blast. It was my first book. It was probably mid 80s, 84, 85, somewhere around there. Yeah, I'm old. I know you guys were thinking it. You guys were thinking it. I just said it. So yeah, Taylor's putting together like some of these patches. So she's taking the patches that I do like these, and she's putting them into the page. So let me see. I can actually show you like this patch that I'm working on right now. I gotta wait for that ink to dry so I don't smudge it. It's a patch for this panel right here. So I'm gonna replace this face or this face with this face. So this face will now become this face. So I work it up and then we scan it in Photoshop and then we bring it over and then put it into the original page. So this is screen. I was like this one I did digitally and I wasn't real happy with it. It's very limited sometimes for me to draw digitally. So so some of these like this was drawn for it. And so this is like the newer version here of it. It still has to be reworked a little bit. So then I work these up and then put them into here. So it brings a more contemporary version to the book, and it just they're better drawn than they were 25 years ago. So I think I'm a better artist now than I was then. So the idea is to try to bring this stuff into a 21st century aesthetic.
I'm back.
She's back. She's got it.
Ooh, the chat has a lot more people now.
Wait a minute. Taylor leaves and more people show up. Correlation? I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not
there's
saying,
way less.
I'm not saying anything.
Kelly says, do you think Mike Grell would ever do an Indiegogo book?
I don't know. Like Mike Grill for me he was a big hero because he did a lot of indie books. I can't see why he wouldn't actually because he published for First Comics and he published for Pacific, and Pacific was like a precursor to Image.
Mm-hmm.
It was San Diego, and they had a lot of the big names of the time, like Neil Adams and Bernie Wrightson, Jack Kirby, and he as in Mike Grill did a book called, I think it was called John Sable Freelance. And I don't really remember it too well, but it was a book. I don't know if he was a spy. He was like just a gun for hire, like an assassin. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly what he was, and I'm not sure if he worked for an organization. It says freelance. I think it was John Sable Freelance. So just based on the name, and I just remember I thought it was interesting that he had like an alter ego, and his alter ego was that he was a children's like author. Like he was like
he was like a Mr. Rogers type, right?
Yeah, and so he had a whole guise, like a wig and everything, and so he would go and do his children's books, and he'd do public appearances
Aww.
and read to them and stuff like that, and then he'd go off and do like these heinous things, like I guess in a good way. I don't really remember the moral play or the good versus evil template that was there. I just remember that I liked his artwork, and I thought it was kind of an original idea. And he was one of the first like indie guys that I remember seeing have his creation made into anything in Hollywood. So It was actually a short-lived TV series. It was called John Sable Freelance, and it was about that guy.
Hmm.
And it was on network television. And like I said, I don't remember too much of the details of it. I just remember that it was based on the comic book, and that at the time I thought it was pretty cool. Like I said, now I don't really remember the details of it, but Mike Grill was kind of just because he was a creative person. He didn't just do work for hire like Marvel and DC stuff. He created a lot of things, and I always liked that. And then I think the Image stuff, he created this book called Shaman's Tears.
Hmm. Ooh. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about that in our recent Hacks chat?
I don't know, we might have.
Hmm.
Yeah, he was a creative force. I think early on he was considered a pretty decent artist, but then I think he started becoming more of a storyteller, creative person. So I thought like his artwork wasn't as good, but he was going with an overall like storytelling, like artist writer thing.
Yeah.
So I think the art became a little less important. And he would do artsy things too. Like I remember, I think he would scan, or I think it was pre-scanning, but like I don't know, there was some grainy stuff. Like maybe it was shot from pencils or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he'd always do. Like there was always some kind of artsy aspects to his work.
He's
Yeah,
very good.
yeah. I always thought he was pretty cool. I got to meet him 2 years ago. He was in Artist Alley at San Diego. So he doesn't know who I am or anything. So I just went up and thanked him for creating all the cool stuff that he had, and then just shook his hand and then just walked away. I didn't even tell him who I was. I just thought it was cool just to meet him.
That is cool.
Yeah, because I'd never met him before. He's a little bit of a character. Like he wears like a God, what are those, like safari hats?
Like a
And,
pith helmet?
no, like a safari, like those big rims. Like you kind of still see him in like Australia and like those outback guys. Um, that sometimes they'll have a feather in it,
Oh my
a
gosh.
big feather.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I think he's probably by today's standards not very popular. Just
Did he have a
I
goatee?
I think so. I think he's a little bit of a hunter type, like he hunts
Ew.
and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, no
I
judgment.
mean, whatever.
Trophy hunting's.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
very
not
cool.
sure. I mean, I could be speculating. I'm
But
just
he
trying
looks
to.
like an old explorer.
Yeah, exactly. He looks like a guy from a different time.
And in a way, he kind of is.
Yeah, actually, he is. Because he's old.
Aw, I like from a different time better than being like that old person. Comics Legend says, Art, where did the name Hacks Chat come from?
Oh, good question. It's an old, like, in the day, 20, 30 years ago, um, I I don't know why I came up with the name. I think I always liked like Walt Disney Studios. I always liked the idea of the studio. And so I started working with an assistant maybe 5 years or so into this, me working professionally in comics.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt kind of weird not to have a name for where we worked and stuff. And so it started off in my apartment, and then it was the days of fax machines. So I just came up with like a logo and a name, and it was just like Hacks. It was Hack Shack. It was Hack Shack Studios, and so I came up with this silly logo of like a hack, like a shack, and it was like I forget what it looked like, but it had some kind of shack in it, and it was kind of a joke because hacks in this industry are people that don't do good work, and so I just did it. I don't even really know why. And so I worked up this logo, and then I had a letterhead, and at the time fax machines were a big thing, so it was the letterhead on the fax machine. So I would just send people out, so it'd say Hack Shack Studios, RT Bear or whatever on it. And so I just did that, and then I remember I did that for a while, and I was sending faxes off to Jim Lee and Will Spertasio and those guys because I was working with them at the time. And I just remember getting a fax back from Will Spertasio, and it said homage. He had like some like silly characters. God, I wish I still had those things. There were like three weird, like alien looking guys, and it said Homage Studios. And so then they had a letterhead. I guess that's all it was like a letterhead. And so then that just stuck. So I had a studio now, and they had a studio. So, and they, as in, it was Jim Lee, Will Spertasio, and Scott Williams. And so we just ended up just I just kept the name. And so then later we moved out of that apartment and then into an actual like location, like a rental place. And it just seemed to fit even more at that point. And then um, I started making some pretty crazy money. And so what you kind of have to do is you have to set up like ways to shelter your money, like money shelters and stuff, so you're not taxed on those as an individual. Kind of like I guess it's called you just incorporate.
Yeah.
So I incorporated, but I didn't incorporate as my name. I incorporated as Hack Shack Studios. It's cool because like hindsight, I didn't know what I was doing. I just did it, and now it just works out well because I still have it's still incorporated, and I still yeah I pay all my bills, my comic related bills through it, and stuff like that, and you get certain tax breaks and things. So it kind of just started out like that, and then it just never went away. So then when Taylor and I started working together, we did an art book. I think is the first time we really brought it back out of retirement,
Yeah.
and so we used it and we rebranded it a little bit and called it Hack Shack Publishing. So I guess to answer your question, Hack Shack Studios is an art studio, and also it turned into a training ground. So I used Hack Shack Studios as a way to get assistance, but also train up and coming inkers and artists. So a lot of people that came out of the studio are like, Trevor Scott, Danny Mickey, Andy Owens, Jaime Mendoza, Larry Stucker, Marlo Acquiesca, I said Larry Stucker, even Tim Townsend. He wasn't really officially here, but Panosian and I gave him his first work, assisting us on Spawn. So it was kind of a lot of that. So it just seemed like it needed a name, so that it became, it was just, Hack Shack Studios. And I just remember having a conversation with Jim Lee, and, when Jim was like, Hack Shack Studios? He's like, you can't call your studio Hack Shack. And I was like, well, why not? He's like, you know what a hack is? And I was like, yeah, a guy that does bad artwork. And he's like, yeah, why would you want to call your studio that? I go, it's kind of a joke. It's like, I do anything but bad work. Like, I do really top of the line work. So
That's why you can use it as a joke.
yeah, like if I was putting out crap or whatever, then I think it wouldn't be ironic and funny. But this way, I believe it's ironic and funny.
Yeah.
Um,
If you were really bad, then it would be like.
yeah, and I think time, you know, a 35-year career, and I'm still doing. I believe, the work of my life. I think I'm still like getting better and working to get, hone the craft and get better. Every time I pick up a pencil or write or ink. So I believe it's just gotten better over time. I think I'm a better artist now than I was then. And so yeah, that's kind of how it started and how it and why. And so I think what Taylor and I are going to do with it now is maybe, it's fortuitous because we're going to publish under the Hack Shack publishing banner. So we're going to have a little bit of a publishing company. I'm not sure exactly to what extent it will be, but we already have two books published with the Hack Shack publishing logo on it. So we've already published, the Chrono Mechanics Trade and the Oodles of Doodles and other stuff to art book. And so then Black and White will be the third book that we've published through Hack Shack Publishing. And so I guess if we also have a like a Hollywood production company or anything like that, it would probably have the same name to it. So it will grow as we grow. So I think it'll fit, all these different places we go.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like what's in a name, really. It's just a name, but I think it's just a way of uniting us together as a studio, as a working partnership, Taylor and I, and then just going into this publishing arena where we can publish our books and then maybe in time, others. I don't really know where everything's going to go. I never say never. And my favorite part about this industry is that it can be anything. Like I don't, Taylor and I, we don't work for a corporation. There's nobody telling us any limitations. There's not, a policies and procedures list that says this is what you're going to make this year. This is what you're going to make next year, and all that stuff. This is kind of all being made up. We can make it up as we go along, and oh, my daughter's here. And we can create. My daughter comes in and she goes, "What's up, woman?" Like she calls my mom, her mom, woman. Like, "What's up, woman?" I'm sorry, it just took me aback. So yeah, that's kind of my long, explanation of the Hack Shack Studios thing. So it was just kind of a lark, just kind of a fun thing, and then it just turned into another, and then just over the 35 or 30, probably close to 30 years that it has existed.
Wow.
It's just meant a lot of different things over the years, like whatever we needed it to be. So it's got a little bit of a history. So thanks for asking.
Good question. Thanks. Art has a twisted sense of humor, says James. Ooh, here's a Kiss connection. Kelly says, Gene Simmons actually wanted to be John Sable in the TV show and did some screen tests for it. Kiss connection for you, Art.
Whoa! Cool! We're going to use that. Well, who is it? We got to write down his name. We'll give him credit.
Kelly Amos.
Kelly. Wow, Kelly is quite the informative person on this chat.
Kelly knows all about
Mike Grill.
Mike Grill and Kiss.
Mike Grell.
John Sable and Star Slayer.
Star Slayer, that was the first comics. Yeah, so he's created for
That's a cool
Pacific.
name.
Star Slayer. Star Slayer was like it was literally like a swashbuckler out in space.
Ooh, a real space pirate.
Yeah, he was a real space pirate. Exactly.
These all sound really cool. I'm gonna look these up. They
I think the
sound
guy
to my
had
taste.
he had an eye patch too, like the star. What did you say his name was?
Star Slayer.
Star Slayer.
I always like superhero names that you can say that just make you sound like a wrestling announcer or like a vintage announcer.
Star Slayer.
Yes. I'm gonna look up Star Slayer right now. I always thought Captain Marvel was like the perfect name for like a movie trailer. They're like Captain Marvel, but we don't have fun like that anymore.
Yeah, and it was because there were like Captain Marvel cereals.
They should do it in the new movie. What the heck is this? Okay, Star Slayer. Apparently there's in a video game there's something called a Star Slayer, and that's what's showing up. But I see him. He's got. Does he have facial hair? I really like that. All of Grell's lead dudes have like mustaches and stuff. Yeah, he's like a pirate with.
Does he have an eye patch?
I don't see an eye patch yet. Pulse pounding conclusion. He's got like a crown thing on his head.
Crown. Let me see
It
this.
almost looks like
You have it on your phone?
Yeah, let me see if I can find a better shot of him here.
I remember black and red. Like his hair was
Yes.
black and
Here
he
you go.
wore like red, like a loose fitting.
It's almost got like a Wonder Woman type crown on.
Oh, okay. So he's got like a porn stash. He looks like Tom Selleck.
He does. He
Yeah,
does look
he's
like
definitely of the
Tom Selleck.
time. Yeah, he looks like he could be a warlord character actually. Oh, that's Pacific too. I think later they published that through First.
Star Slayer: The Log of the Jolly Roger was an American comic book series created by Mike Grell. It was published first as a 6-issue limited series by Pacific Comics and then ongoing series by First Comics, just like Art said. Running for 34 issues in total in 1995, Grell released an expanded version of the original limited series through Acclaim Comics. The expanded version was titled Star Slayer: The Director's Cut, and it ran for 8 issues.
Cool.
I just want to see the first. Let's see. Oh, here we go. The main character, Torin McQuillian? I think it's Torin McQuillian. A Celtic warrior. What? A Celtic warrior from the time of the Roman Empire. Just before he is killed by fighting a group of Roman soldiers, he is pulled into the distant future.
Wait a minute.
I thought he was like a straight up pilot. He's Celtic.
Well, no, this is Star Slayer now. This isn't Warlord, but it sounds like Warlord.
Yeah, because it's weird because Star Slayer looks like a straight up pirate though, but he's Celtic from the time they're fighting the Romans. He doesn't look Scottish at all or anything. Like
What does a Scotsman look like, Taylor?
beautiful. Let's see. Just before he is killed while fighting a group of Roman soldiers, he is pulled into the distant future by Tamara. This does a descendant of his wife after she remarried. Okay, you're treading some water there, dude. How do you know that's not like your descendant? Let's see, a descendant of his wife after she remarried. Torin is asked to join the crew of the spaceship Jolly Roger in their fight against the oppressive regime. Ew, she's hooking up with her great-great-great-grandma's sloppy seconds. Torin agrees, and his new shipmate successfully saved the Earth's dying sun. Well, I need to read it now.
It's twisted enough. Taylor likes it.
That's a really big risk that she's taking as well.
That's a weird, incestuous.
That could be your great-great-grandpa. Yeah, you gotta check out Star Slayer. James says Grell drew manly men. Yes, he did. You can Google,
manly man.
You can Google the John Sable TV show and Gene Simmons and see him dressed up. Oh my gosh, I have to find it.
Man, Kiss is. See, this is why the show's interesting. This is nuts. Every finger points back.
But can you picture Gene Simmons?
Yes, if you saw the show.
But like, imagine, like he doesn't seem like he'd ever seem like a Mr. Rogers type.
No. Oh, you mean to play the lead character?
Yes.
Yeah.
What, Sable and Gene Simmons, is that him? Oh my gosh, I gotta see if I can find it.
So what, there's like an audition video? What is...
There's pictures of him dressed up. Here he is in the audition. We gotta save these for Kiss Corner because there's quite a few, but he's like in... He's in the like assassin costume.
Let me get my glasses. It's like just a turtleneck, right? Oh, with the face paint. Oh my god! Oh, you can tell it's Gene Simmons too.
Oh yeah. What if he kept the demon face paint on, but he was just wearing the turtleneck and everything?
Oh my gosh! So he's got like one of those headpieces that goes around
Balaclava.
the back of his head, yeah, and then he's got like the open face, but then the open face has like this weird Ziggy Stardust like lightning slashes across it, but they're black.
Oh my gosh, that's very funny. I want to read this John Sable stuff. It looks interesting.
I remember liking that. I don't know if I ever read that Star Slayer book. I think he was probably, he didn't own Warlord or something like that, so he was probably trying to create a character like it so he could, you know what I mean, he could own it.
Yeah, I can see that. Interesting. Man, this guy has a really I don't know. It's always interesting to watch comic artists and comic artists particularly, and like animation people, because they tend to do they tend to move on from projects. I don't know how to describe it, like issues and seasons, different shows and stuff. And it's always interesting to see comic artists in particular, like what they're into and how they evolve. Because like Star Slayer sounds kind of like a proto version of Warlord, and you can see that he liked those themes and kind of evolved them.
Yeah, and that's the neat thing about like create your own, because they're definitely more of what that person's into than a corporate mandate. So you actually end up putting more of yourself and your own likes and dislikes in. It's more, you know how they say it's more personal. Well, yeah, it's, you know, it goes into, like you said, themes and stuff like that. Like if you watch enough Ridley Scott films and stuff, you notice there's reoccurring archetypes and like Ridley Scott isms that appear and reappear in his films.
Yes.
And I think filmmakers that are more like, I guess, personalized filmmaking, you can see that. You can see that in comic book artists as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting, I think, if you follow them long enough. Very personal. Let's see. Yes, thank you, Kelly, for all the info.
Oh my gosh, Kelly, you're my new best friend. That is so funny. We just started talking about John Sable freelance, and then boom, Gene Simmons. This is really cool. Doesn't this sometimes feel like it's just meant to be?
It is. It feels like fate. It feels like, I was trying to think of a kiss pun.
Kismet.
It feels like Kismet. Oh man, that could have been a good name instead of Kiss Corner. Kiss Corner's cool, but
Kismet. Yeah, I realize how corny Kiss Corner is, but it was kind of meant to be
love Kiss Corner
as well. I just wanted like that visual of like, come on, let's go hang out in Kiss Corner. It's like bring the family. Bring some snacks. We're gonna tell some stories.
Snacks and stories on Kiss Corner.
Remember there was this show I think Amanda, my daughter, watches called Pooh Corner or Pooh's Corner?
I remember what you're talking about.
Pooh's Corner? Pooh Corner.
There was when Disney was putting out all their themed cookbooks, it was like cooking with, and they had like a bunch of different characters, and the one was cooking with Pooh, and I was like, that became a meme really quickly. Like as soon as I saw it in stores, it was already online, like everywhere being mocked.
Yeah, they knew it, but they didn't care.
Durakin says, let's sit in a corner and talk about old dudes in leather and makeup. Nothing creepy about that. There's this guy with a super long tongue. You know what? I don't think you're being sarcastic at all, because there is nothing creepy about that.
Whatever.
Why do you gotta play your hate?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, Elizabeth says that the Pooh corner, it was on Disney in the 90s.
Elizabeth sounds like she was a fan.
She has small kids, so maybe. I remember as a kid, like when I would have to watch the Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, it was always a crappy time because it meant that I was waiting for my mom to get off of work. And like even as a kid, there's this really creepy part in the theme song where it goes, that theme song gets pretty epic, by the way, but it goes, and when you're alone and nobody's home, it's nice to know you could count on a friend like Pooh Bear. And I always thought that part was creepy.
All alone?
Yeah, why would you be alone?
When you're all alone. There is no phone, and there's a man outside your door. He's got a knife. It's dark and rainy.
You can count on a friend like
Pooh.
Yeah, when you're alone and nobody's
He's trying to
home.
open the window. It's kind of jammed.
Oh, dear.
That's when you realize poo's not real.
Like I always thought, whoever wrote that lyric, like this is for the kids that are home alone. It's like, but alone, like I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah, just think if you were a guy trying to break into a house or figure out who's home and not, and they just listen to that song,
Like,
and they're like,
they
they're
know.
alone. They're alone.
We're in the clear. Pooh Bear's on.
Pooh Bear's on. Let's take this house. They're like the Home Alone guys.
Did you ever have? Well, that might be a grim question. Never mind.
You thought I was dark.
I have to go soon. I don't want to leave on that note.
Trust me.
I'd rather leave on the. That's not exactly off if I remember right. The guy who played Winnie the Pooh's voice turned out to be a murderer or something.
What?
No. What's wrong with you, Jerkin? Now I have to look it up.
You gotta look it up.
Oh man, now I gotta find out. We're not talking about the original because he was like an old man.
No, if the original Pooh, that guy, we would have known about that.
Yeah, let's see.
Because that was still on Disney's watch, right? Walt Disney was still alive.
Yeah, I don't see any stuff coming up when I'm searching Pooh. Now I'm gonna have to think about this. If he was a murderer. Oh no, why is this guy showing up? No.
I heard that the guy that did the original Tigger voice created the first artificial heart pump.
What?
What is his name? Oh gosh, I used to know his name. Yeah, type it in. He
Let's see.
I can't remember his name now.
The Tigger voice actor?
Yeah.
See, Tigger voice actor, inventor of. Oh, it's right there. Hold on. Artificial heart. It was Paul Winchell.
Paul Winchell, that's it.
He's
yeah.
a TV ventriloquist and cartoon voice actor and inventor of. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Invented the first version of the artificial heart. Wow.
Yeah.
So he was kind of clever, interesting.
Yeah, only
Pretty
stupid
cool.
people do cartoons and comics.
He just like, can you imagine like his wife? She's like, yeah, he does Tigger's voice. I'm like, oh, and also he invented an artificial heart.
I would lead with the artificial heart.
I wouldn't, because I'd want to diminish it. And then,
For people just to go, oh, whatever, and then you're like, oh, and the
And
artificial
also-
heart. Yeah.
let's see. Art, are you going to be on Drawn and Quartered this week for the Star Wars contest? I actually won the Spider-Man print from Kanan last week.
All that Kanan drawing, I saw it later. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I gotta, you know what? We're trying to get this iPad. I can't get it to link with their, well, I guess the app to link with their link. The app to link with their links, I guess is the right way to say it. So I gotta look into that. I'm hoping to. It would be fun.
Yeah, they'll have to send a direct thing, and it's kind of a pain. But you guys should demand it if you want Art on there.
Do you know what the character is, or is it just Star Wars?
They say Kelly says Star Wars, but the thing is, Star Wars is such a like a vast thing. Like
I hope it's Bib Fortuna.
Art's favorite character, Bib Fortuna. I think I don't know. Star Wars would be fun, but like the characters are so vast because like somebody could be drawing Darth Vader and someone else could draw like someone could draw a mediocre Darth Vader and then someone else could draw like an amazing C-3PO, but the C-3PO is gonna lose because people like Darth
No,
Vader.
we all have to draw the same character.
Hmm.
So it's apples to apples. So
What would be a cool what's a Star Wars character you'd want to draw?
Bib Fortuna.
You're not gonna get Bib Fortuna.
You know what I want to draw? I want to draw Ace Frehley of Kiss.
Yes, you guys, you have to demand that Ace Frehley be the subject of Drawn and Quartered.
The problem is, if I didn't win, it'd be really sad.
No, we'd make sure that you won.
Oh, how could we do that?
We get the Kiss Army behind.
The Malin Militia.
They got to fight with the Malin Militia. It'll become a turf war.
By the way, we have to fill out the paperwork for the Kiss Army. We should do it live.
We can. Do you think they'll still accept it?
I don't know. I think they still have one, don't they?
They do, but like you have to sign up through the website, and then it's like a $50 fine. Not fine. $50 fee.
Yeah, but you get cool stuff, right? Like a patch and things.
Yeah, you get an exclusive patch. You get the official Kiss Army patch. You get a shirt. You get first dibs on like meet and greets and tickets, and you also get access to an exclusive Kiss Army only store. Let's see.
What if we got discounts to the Kiss reunion tour?
I would like that, but now that you mentioned, like, I'm not even joking. I was looking up the tickets. I'm like, I should pull the price on these tickets for this farewell tour. But then when you mentioned, like, when they hit 50, they're probably gonna get the original band. I'm like, I need to hold out for that, and I didn't buy them.
Oh, you were gonna buy them just now?
I was thinking about it.
Oh man!
But when you mentioned like that they might do that, I'm like, they probably are gonna do that, and I'd really, really rather see the original.
Yeah, but they might be dead.
They won't be dead. They only have a couple of years, like, right? Aren't they like?
I think they said they were
3 years away.
at 45 years, or like they're 45, so 50 would be 5 more years. I think they announced that they're going to be on tour for like 3 years or so. I think they leave it or so, which makes me think that they're probably going to go to, their 50th anniversary while they're on tour.
Yeah.
Why not?
Let's see. Okay, one last question.
I would.
Elizabeth says, "What is drawn and quartered?" I know the torture, but not the drawing thing.
I know the torture.
Do you want to explain, or do you want me to explain?
She knows all about it. Oh, you can go ahead.
Drawn and Quartered is a show that is put on by Mike Miller on his channel, where some comic professionals like Art himself and John Malin and of course Mike, and I think they have a couple other people, or do they ever switch out?
I think Ethan's done one. Yeah, Kanan White.
Basically, it's a live show where a subject is picked or a character, and everybody does their version of that character. So they'll do it's usually it doesn't have to be a head sketch. They'll do like a full piece, and then the chat votes on who they think did the best version.
Yeah, you only have 2 hours to draw it.
Yeah, so they kind of have to do it fast, and then they vote on who they think won, and oftentimes those pieces are up for grabs for sale after.
Well, I think whoever, what is it? Oh, there's a drawing, I think, after. So there's a drawing, and whoever wins the drawing gets a print of the original.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a
part.
signed print. And then if, like, I draw traditional, so I can sell my originals, so you can buy the originals later as well. So I took Elliot Fernandez's throne from him, his crown. I won over him with a rogue, I think.
That was me last week, says Kelly. So I guess Kelly won last week's.
Oh, Kelly, okay.
Pretty cool.
You're Spider-Man then.
So you won the Spider-Man piece.
Oh, you won. Who did win? So he won the print then.
Yeah, he won the print, I believe.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even remember who won. Was it Kanan?
I don't know. I think so, because that's how they got the print. Cool, that sounds awesome. Yes, it is. And if you watch on Mike Miller's channel, you should totally vote for Art.
Yeah, always vote for Art.
Always. Kanan won, yes.
Because I won't let you down like Kanan will.
Whoa!
Or Mike. Or
Shots
John.
fired at the hose.
Or John Malin. I can talk crap.
You're pulling a John Malin.
Malin. Yeah.
The Malin militia is gonna come after us.
They are going to come after us. So you want to try to wrap this up? Because I know you have to get out of here.
Yeah. Oh, are you doing Comic-Con Revolution this coming year?
Yeah. See in the chat if they know the month. Because, we should do a Hack Shack table there.
That would be pretty cool. You guys, if you know any info, I can look it up actually, but
Okay, yeah.
we'll see tentatively about that.
I think it's next. I don't
It's
think
usually
it's
May.
this year. Okay, May.
Okay, so May 2019 is what you're talking about. Yeah, this coming year. Okay. Um, I honestly.
Oh, so it's still a while away then. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have some time. All right. So, you guys, we are under review for monetization right now. I'm hoping that we can get super chats to be a thing soon, but I don't know how long it takes for YouTube to clear our application, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
So we can still use all the likes we can get. We got quite a few people in here, so if you guys wouldn't mind liking this video to help boost our views, it makes a big difference. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you hit the bell for notifications. A couple people said in the last video that they weren't getting notifications, and that's on YouTube's end. I heard that's been happening a lot. It takes about a month, I've heard. Yeah, that's what I heard too about monetization. But yeah, make sure to hit the notifications that you know when we go live. And if you missed Kiss Corner, you can watch it. It's our last video.
Yeah, please check it out. It's a lot of fun. Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, go ahead.
I got excited about Kiss Corner.
No, Kiss Corner is fun, and if you want to go back and rewatch some, even if you're not super into the music, I think it's a pretty chill kind of chat. And Kiss itself is so interesting, kind of like how we just ended up talking about the Kiss connection.
Yeah, I think they transcend the music, actually.
And they have a lot of very strange connections to comics, especially indie comics. And there's that. And then also, if you missed out, well, you haven't missed out. If you've been following us and Black and White Remastered, which Art is working on right now, the Indiegogo we did, Black and White is now on in demand on Indiegogo, and you can still pick up a book. And we still have a lot of the tiers open. Some of them are sold out, but we have some of the bigger tiers, like the Ultimate tier still has some slots left, and that's the one where you get all the physical items, and you get a exclusive mini print in that tier.
And we just posted what the mini print will look like.
Yeah, so check out the campaign if you're curious about what that mini print looks like. I think it's really cool. Again, we are being considered for monetization, but at this time we are not yet. So we do have a donate button, and if you guys want to send us something over, it would be much appreciated. And also, we have a Black Friday sale going on right now.
Ooh, yeah.
We have a Black Friday sale going on at artbytbear.com.
Oh, did I tell you? We sold a bunch of pages already.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You guys, you're gonna want to hurry up if you're an art collector. This Black Friday sale is going on for about a week. It ends on Cyber Monday, and there's some crazy good deals on there right now. Like we said at the beginning, Art's been working for like 35 years. There's a gigantic library of comic book art there, and it's all on sale right now. And it'll be, if you're in the US, there's a good chance it'll make it there in time for Christmas, so get on that while the pages are there. Since it is original art, everything is one of a kind, so you really got to move on it, because I think that stuff is going to move pretty fast.
Yeah, there's a lot of... There's like Jim Starlin pages, there's Dave Finch pages, and if you guys were kind of on the fence because of the expense, I think it goes from 10, 15 to 20% off. So the higher priced pages are like 20% off. So there's quite a savings there. And like Taylor said, it's only going to be running till this Monday. So it's very limited, the time. So if you want some killer pages, and if you're going to buy some of these more expensive pages, this is the time to do it, because I don't know if I'm ever going to do a sale like this again, because it's kind of weird, like seeing like how low some of these prices are.
I would say it's the biggest sale of the year for sure, as far as I don't know if it's our biggest original art sale, but it's the biggest one of the year.
I think this is the biggest sale we've ever had. Yeah.
It's site wide. It's pretty cool. Check it out. I'll
Yeah,
put
it's
link
on the
in
books.
description.
It's on books and prints, and also if the deal wasn't sweet enough, there's a free print. So if you spend $100 or more, there's a free print in it of your choice that will be thrown in as well. So the prints run anywhere between $15 to $25. So
You're
you
getting
could,
that on top of everything.
yeah. So you're getting a free print as well. So let me see. Am I focused good on this piece here? I want to see. I never get to see one. Ooh. It's a little distorted, it looks like.
I think 'cause it's tilted.
Like if it was like this, I think it'd be better. I gotta figure this out. So anyways, guys,
If you donate, we can get a better setup.
yeah, I just need a bigger crane arm or something. So what do I push here?
It's the little X in the very top right hand.
Right
corner.
here?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Did we get everything in?
I believe so. So don't miss out on that Black Friday sale, and subscribe to the newsletter as well. It's the best way to keep up to date on all this stuff.
Oh yeah. The newsletter gets a bunch of exclusives, black and white exclusives actually. So we just posted 2 new pages that no one's seen yet up on the newsletter. So you also get first previews and peeks at events and properties and projects and pages and all kinds of other stuff that Taylor and I are working on. So that's that. You guys have a great night, and thanks for tuning in.